Hey everyone, it is Dani'i and welcome to this updated video. I hope that you guys are having a marvelous Monday thus far. And so in this video, we will be taking a look at Tropical Storm Calvin, which is likely to bring impacts to the Hawaiian Islands. And in the Atlantic, we'll be looking at what is currently happening over there, the rainfall chance for some spots, as well as the updated Saharan area map. And we'll also be delving into the possibility of that potential storm affecting the Caribbean, the Bahamas, Turks and Caicos Islands, as we're going to be heading into next week. And so before I go into details, please do subscribe if you haven't yet done so and tap the bell so that you never miss an important update. All right, so we're starting out with the Pacific as there is Tropical Storm Calvin over there. And so there we can see the cyclone. And so it is expected to continue on a westward to west-northwestward track over the next couple of days and should also gradually weaken. And so as we take a look at the latest cone forecast, we can see here that Calvin has maximum sustained winds of 50 miles per hour and is making its way toward the west at 18 miles per hour. So it will continue to weaken as it heads more to the west, as I said. And heading to Tuesday night, going to Wednesday, it is likely to be very close to the big island of Hawaii. And so as such, sometime today, maybe a tropical storm watch will be issued, but it is likely going to be bringing impacts, not as a strong cyclone, fortunately, but nonetheless, it could bring some significant impacts. And so going to the key message, we can see here that it says Calvin is forecast to approach the Hawaiian Islands during the next couple of days, bringing the potential for heavy rains and dangerous surf and rip currents. A tropical storm watch could be issued for portions of the main Hawaiian Islands on Monday. So let's see what's going to be happening. And if you're in Hawaii, it is good to stay updated on this system so that you're not caught off guard, and please take the necessary precautions where required. And so now let's go ahead and hop over into the Atlantic basin, and we can see that there is a lot going on, especially in some spots in the Caribbean and the surrounding areas. We see lots of those white dots indicating lightning strikes, and there is also some activity out there in the main development region, and there is some tropical depression done up there loitering around as expected. And so let's zoom into some areas starting with Northern South America, and here you're seeing that there is a bit of activity across some spots in Colombia, also for Venezuela, and heading to north of French Guiana, going to Suriname. There we have that cluster of some showers and thunderstorms. In the southwestern Caribbean, we also see that there is quite a bit going on. ABC Islands, likely some overcast skies, maybe with those high level clouds. Nothing too crazy there. It's expected to be a pretty sunny day. As we look into the Lesser Antilles, we see that there is some activity for some areas, and actually a lot of the Saharan dust is clearing up for the Caribbean, but that next big plume is going to be making its way in. But for now, because things are a bit more unstable, that is allowing for some more shower and thunderstorm development, and as such, quite a bit of rainfall is expected across many spots as we're going to be heading through today. So we'll be looking at the rainfall maps very shortly, but we can see that there is quite a bit going on over in the Lesser Antilles, as well as the Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, Hispaniola. We even see some thunderstorm activity in the vicinity of Jamaica, going to Central America as well. And up in the Bahamas and Turks and Caicos Islands, there isn't a whole lot going on right now. So let's go ahead and move on to these rainfall maps. And here we're starting out with GFS. So as we head throughout majority of today, we can see here that this map is very colorful. So when we see more of these red spots in burgundy, that is indicating those much higher rainfall totals. And so we can see that a lot of rainfall is likely across the southwestern Caribbean, heading to Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama. Some substantial rainfall possible for some areas in Jamaica, going to Hispaniola, Puerto Rico, even for the Virgin Islands, and even heading to some spots over in the Lesser Antilles, and also for Northern South America, especially for Colombia and Venezuela. ABC Islands, as I said, it should be a pretty sunny day today. Much rainfall is not expected, and so as I said, we're seeing that many areas are expected to receive some substantial rainfall through today. Is Euro in agreement with this? Yes, it is. Euro also expecting lots of rainfall in the southwestern Caribbean, heading to Northern South America, and some spots across the eastern and northern Caribbean islands. So that is what is expected. And And so guys, the sea surface temperatures are off the charts right now. So I want to take you to that map, and we can see here that in some spots 29, 30, 31, 32 degrees Celsius, especially for the Gulf parts of the Northern Caribbean and also off the southeastern coast of the US. And so this would aid in rapid intensification as long as other conditions remain conducive. And so now I want to show you the latest run for the GFS model here, and this isn't something that is guaranteed, and I would say to take this with a grain of salt, but this is depicting the scenario of something actually hidden into this area, and conditions are conducive to allow for intensification. So this is the latest run from the GFS. It should be updated very soon. And so as we're going to be heading into the end of this week, there we have that system loitering out there in the main development region. Eventually we have it intensifying on approach to the Caribbean, moving over the Lesser Antilles, Puerto Rico, and heading into the vicinity of the Bahamas, Turks and Caicos Islands. And look at that intensification of pressure down to around 952 millibars. That is major hurricane status. And by the way, this goes all the way out to the 2nd of August. So we're talking about a week after next, and there are bound to be many changes with this. And notice how the model is also expecting that this is going to be slowing down while gaining strength. So that is pretty much the worst case scenario at this point in time, because if a major hurricane is going to be hitting the southeastern US, that would just be absolutely devastating. But hopefully that won't actually be the case, guys, and we're still talking about a system potentially over a week out from now. So there is not even a guarantee that it will develop, so only time will tell. But what I will say is to ensure that you have your plans in place, because we're heading to the heart of the hurricane season, and there will be a lot more activity and staying up to date with what is happening. Of course, I'm here to keep you guys posted. As for the ensemble members, going on to the Euro ensemble members here, we see that there are quite a bit of them still expecting that this will potentially be a threat to the Caribbean. We see a lot of these members taking the system into the Caribbean, some of them showing that we're going to be seeing some intensification with the system being outside the Caribbean, maybe up to category 2 intensity here, and expecting that this might move into the vicinity of the Bahamas, Turks and Caicos Islands, and eventually the US. As for the GFS ensemble members, not a whole lot of them compared to Euro expecting that this will be making its way this far, and this goes out to Wednesday of next week. But we see some members also expecting that similar scenario, anywhere from the Caribbean, the Turks and Caicos Islands, the Bahamas, potentially the US being impacted by this. So only time will tell, guys, and as usual, I will be keeping you posted on all that is happening, and that is pretty much it for right now. And so if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments. I will respond once I get the chance, and as always, remember to be weatherwise.